Here's a quick demonstration of DarkHelp Server. So I have the package here. This is how you install it. And then the new executable is called DarkHelp Server. When you run DarkHelp Server for the first time, it displays one of these configuration files, JSON. Just copy all that text and paste it into a file. I have a file here called testing.json. Let me bring it up where I've already pasted the content into this file. In this directory, I also have a neural network. These files here, driving, there's the weights, the CFG, and the names file. So I'm going to change the very top of the configuration file to tell it this is the network that I want to load, the driving CFG, names, and the weights file. In your case, it might be called something else other than driving. There's a lot of configuration here, which should match exactly the DarkHelp configuration that's available on the website. And there's details on what all these settings do. And the new stuff is down here under server. So this will start an application that runs in the background, processes images, and saves the output. The difference between this and Darknet, Darknet will reload the neural network for every image file you want to process. It's not meant to be used on the CLI, it's just a testing tool. But DarkHelp Server will run in the background, and it'll either read from a webcam, if you set this to true, or it'll read image files that are saved in a particular folder, this input folder here, which you can change. Every time it sees a new file, or every time it gets a new frame from the webcam, it'll process that file, and it'll save different things. It can crop out the different objects that it finds. It can write out the TXT file that is then used to train the neural network. And it can also save a JSON file that has a whole bunch of information on all the objects that were found. So let me show you what that looks like. I've got some simple settings here. Let me change actually a couple of things. We'll come back in here afterwards. Save annotated image. We don't need that one. Let's just get the JSON results here. All right. So to run it, DarkHelp Server, and then you specify the configuration file. And there you go. It is now running. So I've got the folders here. Here's my input folder. Here's my output folder, and then I have a bunch of images here. So I'm going to copy all these images, and I'm going to paste them in the input folder. And you can see that it runs fairly fast. Here it was achieving, we hit 85 point something frames per second. And then all the output is now out here. So if I look at one of these JSON files, here's where it discovered a person. It has the coordinates. It has all the information on everything in that particular image. I'll just pop up the image here so we can see it. I don't know which one of these images I was using, but you can see there's people, there's cars, there's traffic lights. I don't know if we saw, I forget which one. There is a vehicle, 97% that it's a vehicle, 99%. So this is what it does. Let me now try something else. Let's try the crop option. That can be a convenient one. People on Discord or on GitHub are often asking, how do I crop out just the object that I want? If you use the API, that's really easy to use. OpenCV is typically used for that. But if you're just using the CLI, there are no options in Darknet to just crop out the objects and save them. So let me turn that on. And is there something else that we can show here? Oh, this one is convenient here. The run command after processing images. If you put the name of a script here or the name of an application to run, then the DarkHelp server will call that application every time that it has some images that have been processed. That way you can do further processing on the JSON files, for example, and import it into a database or move the files somewhere that is convenient. Save annotated. Let's put that one to true. Save JSON results. Okay, let's try running it with that to see. So DarkHelp server with our testing JSON settings file. Let me bring up, here's our input and output again. And I'm going to say copy every one of these images and paste it into here. So this time we didn't get as high of a frames per second because it was doing a lot more processing on every single image. It was actually cropping out every single object that was found. So if we take a look at this one here, for example, there's got to be, 10 objects here that it found. And so if we look here, you can see all of those objects were cropped out and saved. And the results were saved here as well. So you've got the JSON file. So that's what DarkHelp server does. Without any programming, just by editing this configuration file, you can get all your objects to be saved on disk. You can get all the output to be saved either to a TXT file or to a JSON file, which is then really easy to edit or import into something else. Hope this helps.